Speaking of video, yesterday Secretary Hillary Clinton was speaking in California. She began to talk about why she lost the presidential election. Just press play.
Just press play.
Come on.
My email account was turned into, the biggest scandal since Lord knows when. This was the biggest nothing burger ever. It was a mistake. I've said it was a mistake. And obviously, if I got to turn the clock back, I wouldn't have done it in the first place. But the way that it was used was very damaging. It became the major reason toward the end, based on the best analysis that I can find, that I lost ground and ended up losing.
Okay, so yesterday, she talked about that. She talked about the Democratic Party not even having proper data, saying that the whole operation was in shambles when she got the nomination.
Did she talk about the extra
that?
money?
Go ahead and play it. Hold on. Play that.
I get the nomination. So I'm now the nominee of the Democratic Party. I inherit nothing from the Democratic Party.
What do you mean nothing?
I mean, it was bankrupt. It was on the verge of insolvency. Its data was mediocre to poor, non-existent, wrong. I had to inject money into it.
This is the DNC.
The DNC to keep it going. Okay.
Wow.
This is
now,
amusing.
So here's a couple of things that's interesting. So I was actually on MSNBC yesterday with Ali Velshi when they started, and this was a tech conference, and so the setup to this whole conversation was how technology was weaponized against her, and also how it was used in the campaign. Here's the thing that she never said. What she never said was, you know what? The biggest mistake that we made was my team believed in the technology more than they believed in the people. What she never said was that my campaign, Robbie Mook, the campaign manager, Marlon Marshall, John Podesta, all the higher-ups, they were so, and I kept saying it for months on television, they were so focused and had their heads stuck in their iPads and their laptops and their algorithms that they never listened to the ground. She never said that. She said everything else. And has she simply owned that, that's also a big reason why she lost.
Well, Roland, she threw the Democratic Party under the bus, but we know that as of October 31st.
There's a lot of truth in it, but go ahead.
As of October 31st of 2016, she had more than $50 million in the bank. So if the Democratic Party was bankrupt, she wasn't, number one. Number two, she ignored, as Democrats are wont to do, the African-American community until the end.
Yep.
She did not go to places in Michigan, as you know, where she could have gone. Didn't go to Flint. Did drive-by through Detroit. They want to let her on the, what's that network? The Gospel Network. It's not the Gospel Network, whatever it's called.
The Word Network.
The Word Network, thank you. They wanted to have her on. They were going to give her a free hour. She didn't want to do that because she had to go hang out with Jay-Z and Beyonce for a concert. And she didn't fool anybody. Nobody was fooled by her going to hang out with Jay-Z and Beyonce, pantsuits notwithstanding.
First of all, she lost Ohio by 450,000 votes. So Ohio was already gone.
Michigan was not gone. Pennsylvania was not gone.
And again, clearly, all she had to do was simply say, yes, Comey letter, the Russian piece, all of that, but we also screwed up. And she literally could not utter those words.
Well, maybe from a perspective, she didn't screw up. I mean, sometimes people get caught up in their own theories about black people. Like if I talk to whatever people's name, I will get more support from black folks and do all this. Like she had the mothers of the murdered children do a song and dance for her. Trayvon's mother, all these cliches instead of directly engaging the people. So she thinks her theory worked. So I don't think she can critique herself enough to do what you're suggesting that she should do.
Well, I saw that President Obama couldn't transfer the love of him over to her.
He tried.
And he tried. He tried very hard.
And Michelle
but
said for Clinton.
But back to your point, the human element was missing. The human element of empowering people to know that they're on your team and that they matter. And that's what we saw in the election for the black community from both sides of the aisle.
And look, she says she's writing a book. Maybe she'll actually own some of those things. But let me say this here, though. She did, go after the DNC hard. But, and I've said this on this show numerous times, a huge problem, and folks who work for President Obama have told me personally the biggest mistake that they made was gutting the DNC and shifting everything over to Organizing for America. It used to be for Obama for America, it became Organizing for America. They didn't focus on the party. And so the party infrastructure was indeed gutted from day one because everything went towards OFA. And again, people very close to him have told me that personally and said that was one of the biggest mistakes that we made. And that's the other piece, because you can't just be focused on yourself. It had to be focused on the party. And even President Obama, somewhat at the end of his term, acknowledged that maybe he had a little bit to do with it, but she's right in that regard. But the bottom line is, look, had your own team, not been stuck in their iPads, and actually listen to people, you could have won.
A peaceful protest turned deadly. 37-year-old black man was shot and killed by Baton Rouge police. His hands are in the air, and you still get shot by the cops.
Oh my God, please don't tell me he's dead.
We're not gonna let hate define us.
Race is a big part of this.
If truly all lives matter, then all lives need to matter equally.
What we require is action. What we require is accountability. We understand that black lives do matter, and we will keep focused on this issue.
NewsOne Now, every weekday morning at 7 on TV1.